The room froze the moment she touched the microphone. Every relative who mocked her dress, her background, her worth, suddenly went silent. And when she sang, they realized they had mistaken a queen for a stranger. Before we begin, hit subscribe to Black Inside USA for more life-changing stories. The red dress no one understood. The ballroom glowed with golden chandeliers, crystal glasses, and guests who wore their confidence the way they wore their designer suits, loudly. It was the annual Harrington Family Gala, an event known not only for wealth and status but for judgment hidden behind fake smiles. Tonight's excitement wasn't the food, the music, or even the auction that raised millions. No, it was the curiosity surrounding the billionaire's new wife. Her name was Amara. She stepped into the room wearing a one-shoulder crimson gown that flowed like a flame. Her skin glowed richer than the champagne in crystal flutes. Her hair was styled into elegant coils that crowned her like royalty. She carried a quiet grace that didn't demand attention, yet stole it. Beside her stood Ethan Harrington, tech billionaire, philanthropist, and much more ordinary than his wife. His white tuxedo felt like the moon cowering next to the sun. The whispers began even before they took 3 steps inside. Greater than, where did he even meet her? She looks too simple for this crowd. Red, at a gala, how bold, she must be trying too hard. She doesn't fit the Harrington image. And then came the laughter. Not the friendly kind, the kind that hides insecurity behind mockery. Amara heard everything, she felt every stare, yet she smiled politely, her posture poised, never shrinking. She had faced more than this in life. This was nothing, the family that smiled with their teeth. At table 1, the Harrington table, the judgment turned ruthless. The matriarch, Margaret Harrington, queen of ice-cold etiquette, observed Amara like a painting she disapproved of but couldn't remove from the wall. Margaret leaned in toward her sister-in-law. Whispers weren't enough now. She wanted Amara to hear. Well, Ethan has always loved charity. Maybe this is his biggest one yet. The table erupted in quiet, suffocated laughter. Ethan's jaw tightened. He had warned his family, begged them to give Amara a chance. He expected some tension, but not this. Not the disrespect. He held Amara's hand under the table, but she gently squeezed it, as if telling him, "It's okay, I'm stronger than this." What they never knew, Amara was not a model, not a socialite, not a polished heiress. She didn't come from a mansion or a legacy. She came from music, and not the glamorous kind, the raw, soulful kind that healed hurting hearts in small churches, street performances, community halls, places wealth rarely visits. She used to sing to raise funds for shelters. She taught kids music so they could dream beyond their neighborhoods. She believed music should empower, not impress. She didn't chase fame, she chased purpose, and that worried the Harringtons. To them, value came from money. To Amara, value came from meaning. 2 different worlds, both trying to love the same sun. The announcement, midway into the evening, Ethan stood and tapped his glass. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Tonight, I want to share something special and introduce someone who has changed my life." Some relatives rolled their eyes. Others smirked, ready to react to whatever simple announcement the new wife might make. Ethan continued, "This year, our foundation will expand to support community arts programs nationwide. And this idea came from my wife, Amara." The applause was polite, forced. Then Margaret stood, her voice sweet, but with claws. "Well, isn't that delightful? Perhaps your wife can give us a little performance then. Surely, she must want to show us how inspiring her ideas are." The room gasped softly. It wasn't a suggestion, it was a test, a trap disguised as a smile. Ethan stared at his mother, then at Amara, torn between anger and protection. Amara whispered, "Let me do this." She walked toward the stage. Not rushed, not nervous, regal. When she took the mic, the microphone stood taller than most people who touched it. But in Amara's hands, it looked like destiny waiting to be fulfilled. The room was restless, some eager to laugh at her, some waiting to be entertained, some curious. Amara breathed deeply and looked around. She didn't see the mockery now. She didn't hear the whispers. She felt the weight of every child she had taught to dream. She remembered the elders who sang with cracked voices but unbroken spirits. She remembered singing to inspire hope, not applause. Her voice emerged, soft at first. Musical notes, when the world turns away from your truth. Sing louder, and let your soul be proof. Musical notes. The first note washed over the room like warm rain after a dry season. Conversations stopped, chairs stopped shifting, eyebrows relaxed. Amara continued, power growing. Let your courage be your rhythm. Let your faith be your song. Let your voice rewrite the stories of where hearts truly belong. Musical notes. People leaned in unconsciously. Phones lowered. Judgments dissolved. In mere seconds, the voice they doubted became the voice they needed. The song that told her story. Amara's song wasn't about her talent. It was about struggle, hope, and purpose. I came from places the cameras never see, where love is louder than the noise of empty luxury, where dignity isn't borrowed, and dreams aren't bought, where we rise from the stories only hardship taught. Some eyes began to soften. Some cheeks warmed with regret. She wasn't showing off. She was teaching them, the room that could no longer laugh. When the final note soared and softened into silence, the room didn't clap immediately. Not because they didn't want to, but because clapping felt too little for what they just witnessed. Then the applause erupted, not polite, not forced, a standing ovation that rattled the chandeliers. Ethan's eyes glistened, his mother sat frozen, pride battling with disbelief. Amara bowed slightly, then spoke. Thank you. Where I come from, music is not for praise. It's for healing. Tonight, I didn't sing to impress this room. I sang to remind it that every voice has value, no matter where it comes from. Silence again, but this time, it held respect, not judgment. The aftermath. Relatives approached her one by one. Some apologized indirectly. Some complimented her talent. Some avoided her, their egos bruised but quieter. Margaret, the matriarch, walked up slowly. Her voice steady, yet changed. Your gift is undeniable, and I may have misjudged you. I hope you can accept that I have more to learn. Amara smiled gently. Growth is a beautiful journey. I respect anyone willing to take it. Those words were more graceful than forgiveness. They were a lesson Margaret would never forget. The legacy begins. Weeks later, a massive check was signed. The Harrington Arts Initiative, supporting music schools, youth talent, community concerts, and cultural art programs across the country. At the ceremony, reporters asked Ethan, what inspired this project? Ethan looked at his wife, radiant as always. He said proudly, a voice that believed every community deserves a chance to be heard. Amara then added, talent doesn't grow where opportunity is denied. We're here to change that. The flash of cameras felt different now. She wasn't a mystery. She wasn't a rumor. She wasn't an outsider. She was a catalyst. The gala that became legend. People still whisper about that night at the Harrington Gala, but not about her dress. Not about her background. They whisper about how one voice silenced a room full of assumptions. Not through anger. Not through confrontation. Through truth. True worth is not found in where you come from, but in what you bring to the world. Respect is earned not by wealth, but by purpose. When people underestimate you, let your actions become your voice. If Amara's strength inspired you, hit like, share this story, and subscribe to Black Inside USA for more emotional stories that reveal the power of humility, purpose, and true character.